and welcome to my third care collab video. This time it's going to be about my Renanthera Monachica. First, I'd like to introduce the ones who are new to my channel, what a care collab video really is. So I'm not going to ramble about what it is today. I'm just going to place a proper instruction picture from Ninja Orchids. So you can read for yourself. And you can also read a little bit more about what a care collab is in longer terms in the description of my playlist. That's called #CareCollab. Yay. But the most important thing is that you join. Since it's such a lovely project, I think it's a good thing that everybody can join, even small channels this time, so such as mine. Alright, enough said about that. This time the other participating channels are Ninja Orchids, What's Up Orchids, and Gabrielle Carson's Orchid channels. And we will all show you our Renanthera Monachica orchid and the state it really is today, whether it's in bloom, whether it's dying, whether it's just growing roots and leaves. It really doesn't matter. The thing is that you get a hint of what this particular orchid is doing in different climates and different countries. Yeah, you get the point. So I read about it. It's common care guides at several places on Google, but mostly I found some interesting information at Travaldo's Blogspot. That's a website I frequently visit for care guides and such for my new orchids and for the ones yet to come that I would like, that I have on my wish list, I guess. So I'm just going to talk a little bit about its common care guide. So it's it's native to the Philippines and the areas around it, and it's also a species. And Renanthera Monachica is also called Spanish dancing girl. It's a warm to hot grower, 19 to 32 degrees Celsius. It needs slight difference between nighttime temperatures and daytime temperatures. In its natural habitat, that is. And it gets, in the drier season, it gets a little bit more dry season, but not much. It can tolerate 70% of humidity, but most of the time, year-round, it prefers 85% of humidity. I wonder how you can provide that in a home. Well. And it's an epiphyte, mostly, I might add. And it lives in trees in grassy areas at 500 meters above sea level, approximately, that is. It can bloom at an early age, and as well as a small-size orchid. But the blooms are more orange, more light in color when it's young. So, yeah, I assume that it's got less spots, less red spots on them, so they can appear much lighter. And this one is a medium-sized monopodial orchid. And it grows 30 to 60 centimeters tall, about. And it blooms in late winter and spring. And it will give you about 6 to 30 inflorescence, which measures 4 centimeters in diameter. And it requires quite good light, but not direct midday light. Yeah, it can burn. And it also needs strong air movement, and that can take away, I guess, the most part of the heating on the leaves in order not to burn it in the bright sunlight. Yeah. So that was a common care guide. This is what I'm giving my Renanthera Monachica, Spanish dancing girl. Yeah, I'm providing this girl a plastic box. I figured it could be easy to just move the whole box into my kitchen in order to move 7 orchids at a time and water them more easily, as well as I figured it can keep the moisture a little bit longer if I fill this box up with a little bit of water, which I always forget to do. But, well, this is what my Renanthera Monachica looks like today. And she's got her cousin, Renanthera amayani times Monachica next to her, as well as her brother, no, not brother, but Renanthera Kalsom, also a species behind her. I'm providing her this regular light, as I always provide my orchids, this 4000 Kelvin daylight, as well as a regular IKEA daylight or white light lamp here, directly on her. Yay. And let's see, if you would like to see how much humidity I provide this gal, it's down there. It's 65% humidity right now, and she gets 26.6 degrees Celsius for the moment. Well, I might say that this is the same area, isn't it? And as far as it concerns its needs of strong air movement, this is all I can provide for it for now. A roof fan, about 2 meters away from it. So, back in my normal area, my kitchen area, and I have my notes in the old-fashioned way, where I can read about where I got it from. It says Werther. The order date is the 25th of March 2019. And note, it got some lies on them, or shall I say it must have been scale. Yes, in March of 2020. So, and I got it in small size bark, and I did not repot it directly, but I did repot it. OP says for omplantering. I did repot it on the 13th of March 2020 into a clay pot with medium sized bark, and I sprayed it with some pesticide. But it didn't do the trick. It was getting dehydrated as, So I had to repot her December 2020 in a 9 centimeter plastic pot into semi-hydro. I got my Renanthera Monachica 2 years ago, as I said, and I got it as a flower size orchid. And 2 years later, I have not yet seen any blooms, but we shall see. I made a video when I repotted her and her cousins, my 2 other Renantheras, into semi-hydroponics. And I can show you a short clip from December last year, what the roots looked like when I repotted her. Here. Yeah, it's got scale all over the root system here. All over the root system. As it had when I repotted it last time as well. So, well, let's see. It's not dead yet, but the roots are really dry and the scale is down here as well. So I think I will, well, yeah, and the roots are a little bit papery, some of the roots here. But this root is viable, but it's so dry, so it really needs more water retentive media. So I think semi-hydro could be the solution for this one. And I use only tap water. City water, big city water. I live next to the sea, and I get my water from Göta Canal. That's it's a channel next to my city, the city of Gothenburg, and we have really, really soft water here. And I'm lucky because many people who grow orchids in my country has got too much calcium into the water, which rises the pH. So I have a pH around 7.3, and they have a pH up to 9. So, well, that means I don't really have to use osmosis water or anything like that, RO water. But it depends, the stuff that's in my water really depends on what season I measure it with my TDS meter. So it will be just fun to see the difference. So this is what my tap water looks like, or what it measures when I measure it with my TDS meter. 110 is fresh water directly from the tap. Yes. And this water next to it in the sprayer, I think I filled the sprayer up 2, 3, a couple of days ago when we still had a couple of degrees below 0. But now we have about 5 degrees above 0, so yay. Now let's see what happened. is 126. So the total dissolved solution is higher. Or shall I say, it was higher. And this water I poured up into a 10-liter bucket, I think 2 weeks ago. Yeah. And we still had around 0 degrees, yeah. And it's 190, a little bit lower. So, the colder it gets outside, the more stuff you get in your water. Yeah. So, this is gonna do. And it works okay for me, I think. So, now back to the orchid in question. This Renanthera Monachica from Swarta. Yeah, it's I think it's growing on now a little bit more. I think it's not producing anything here, but it was really dehydrated 2 months ago. It had a lot of scale down to the stem here, at the base of the stem, where the roots are coming out. And the roots were all covered with scale, as you saw in the clip. But, well, let's see here what we can find when we lift her up. Yeah, I'm a little bit concerned about this root tip here. My hope was for it to grow, to develop a nice new growing tip here, but instead it got, shall I say, turned black. But the roots in general are not dead, as far as I can see here, in between the leca, but this part is also dead. And I wouldn't want to have dead roots in my pot. And I also don't really like this type of leca, this cheap type of leca. I would like it to sit in the type of leca that I bought from IKEA. And this leca has been boiled for an hour or so. Yeah. And I also would like to place some aquarium sand, this beautiful sand on top of it, to provide some more humidity into the pot. I mean, for the water evaporation to really work at the maximum and keep the surface of the pot a little bit more damp for a longer period of time. That's my thought. And yeah, I will show you her cousin, Renanthera Amayani, and see what she looks like, since she's got Renanthera Monachica in her. So this Amayani, this Renanthera Amayani times Monachica. And see what we got in here. Well, I cannot see the roots. I cannot see any of the roots, almost, but I can see that it's got a few roots on top here with growing root tips. So, well, I'm not going to bother with this gal and dig into it and see what the roots really do look like, the ones in a pot. But I think she's a little bit more light green, and I think that this means that this Amayani, it doesn't really need as much light as Monachica, or am I wrong? This is dark green, this is light green, so. But I'm not gonna fuss with this gal. I'm just gonna see what's gonna happen. And as well as this beautiful orchid, this Renanthera Kalsom is doing great. He got large size leca, since this orchid, this genus, likes to have an airy media, so, but you can see, he's doing great. I cannot see anything else than branching root tips. This is a lovely one, and he's been adapting really well to this transition into semi-hydro. So, this concept really works, and it shall work for my Renanthera Monachica as well. And I think that this, in its natural habitat, I mean, it's not really getting a dry season. I don't think that's really true, so the case of lower humidity in winter time, yeah, it comes naturally, but I don't think this gal really needs all that humidity. As you can see, the other ones, 50 to 70% or 60% should be appropriate enough for it. So, let's just release her from the media and see what she looks like. Spanish dancing girl. Today, if the roots had adapted or not. Yay. Things aren't really looking that great. I don't really like this part. This part is green, this part is dead. And this part is green, and this part is falling off. Yeah, the venom is... So, well... But the plant isn't dead yet. And I will cut off the roots that did not adapt to the semi-hydro culture. And this part, it's proved itself to be a branching part. So maybe this part can develop, even though the coloration here doesn't really tell us that. It tells us differently, but we shall see. And this tip is still stiff, even though the color is quite bad. But can I say that this guy, or this gal, is doing better? It really is. But I think she needs a little bit more airy media. I think she'll do better in the IKEA leca. So, just wait a second. So, now it's time to repot this girl one more time. And she's free from scale, totally. I cannot see any sign of scale. So, and I think that this root tip, it's gonna... Yeah, it's new. And it's branching here. And this one is branching out. And I can also see that there's a new root coming here. No scale, no rotting. Overall, this plant is gonna... Yeah, it's doing much better in this setup. That much I can say. So let's use the leca beams from IKEA this time. And a little bit of charcoal for its disinfective properties. I just have a habit of using charcoal in almost everything that I pot up. Let's fill this pot up. Yes. Yeah, it's okay, I think. You can tap the little pot a little bit and see if I can see any thing here. Yeah, you can see the root here. Yeah, and this lovely aquarium sand on top, like this. like this. Okie dokie. This root concerns me a little bit, but maybe I should just give it an opportunity to go down a little bit better. Yeah, it's okay. It's okay, I think. Now let's see what happens with this repot. And I would like to try something different. I would like to have it in this cup. I saw it on YouTube. I think it was Danny's channel. That if you use regular plastic pots, there's going to be, as you saw, a lot of air around it, around the base. So the water evaporation wouldn't be optimal. So I'm just going to try this and place it into this really tight little cup. This cup hasn't got any holes to it. So I would just fill this pot up with water, and the excess water will just make the way into the outside container. That's my thought. Okay, let's see if that works. And now let's hope for this girl to really develop. And I think I'm going to spray her leaves a little bit with some extra nutrients in order to make them develop a little bit more and hydrate them a little bit more. But I think overall she's growing. She's really been taking off since I placed her into this semi-hydro setup. So I think that's a good thing for this orchid, since it's more thirsty than a Vanda. So she doesn't really like to dry out totally in between waterings. And since I don't have so much humidity in my environment, I think this would do the trick. Yeah. First, I thought I'd try out my new formula solution, especially made for hydroponic growing. 2 in nitrogen, 0.9 in phosphor, and 3.3 in kalium oxide. And a little bit more zinc and manganese, iron and stuff, but no. Then I switched to my favorite, this leca orchid fertilizer that I love so much. It's not a balanced fertilizer by any means. I mean, it's 20 in nitrogen and 14 phosphor and 20 in this kalium oxide, but it also contains a little bit more nutrients as magnesium and such here. So all my orchids really took off when I started to use this one. So I just love this fertilizer. It's a quite cheap one as well, and it lasts forever. It's only a teaspoon for 10 liters, so that's a really, really, really nice fertilizer by all means. So this one, this formulaic solution, it works best, I think, for hydroponic growing, for cuttings, house plant cuttings. I think perhaps some herbs and stuff, but I don't really think that this guy works for my orchids in semi-hydroponics. So, but the good thing is that you can also use it as a leaf spray to provide your orchid nutrients through the leaves. And it says somewhere on the backside here in Swedish, formulax can also be sprayed directly on the leaves. This is ideal for growing cuttings. Dilute 5 milliliters of the solution with 1 liter of water and shower it every week. That's what I'm going to use it up for. So now you've seen my Renanthera Monachica. This one I got 2 years ago, and I bought it as a flower size orchid. So now tune in to Ninja Orchids channel and watch her video about Renanthera Monachica, as well as Gabrielle Carson's orchid channel, as well as What's Up orchid channel, and see what their Renanthera Monachica looks like. I bet they're all in bloom. But no, I'm gonna have linked to their channels in the description box below. And thank you so much for watching this time, and thanks for tuning in to my channel. And I really appreciate that you did so. And until next time, have a really nice day. Bye bye.